Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Pain Point Webinar Series webinar. My name is Josh Lockheed, Training Evangelist at QuoteWerks. Our goal is to dive into common business challenges that companies face when creating quotes and proposals. And today's pain point topic is, are your sales reps forgetting to include key accessories or required components? Clearly, this is a pain point for many businesses, as this is a driver of revenue and can often paint your company in a bad light if you're not doing this. And we're going to talk a little bit more in a little bit about the specific pain points. But before we do, I just want to let you know that we value your time. So these webinars will be fairly short. We're going to try and keep them under 30 minutes. Ultimately, we want you to be able to apply these solutions right away, and the webinars to be as quick and as efficient as what your quoting process is or will be. So with that, our agenda is we're going to review the pain points. We're going to go through the solutions, or in this case, 3 specific features of the QuoteWerks software that helps alleviate those pain points. We'll then get into a live demo to review those, and we'll have a Q&A, but I do welcome everyone here to ask questions throughout the webinar. We're using GoToWebinar, and there's a questions box there, so just ask those questions in the questions box, and I'll get to them as they come up, and if I can't get to them, I'll follow up with you after the webinar. Additionally, the webinar is recorded, so you can expect to see a recording in your email box within the next 24 to 48 hours, and that's going to have a link to the recording, so you can review it again if you'd like, or potentially share it with others that weren't able to join today. So again, our webinar today is really about your sales reps forgetting required components and accessories. So what are those pain points exactly that we're talking about? Well, although we're talking about the actual action of a sales rep forgetting a particular item or not including a particular item, there's other business impacts that we don't necessarily see right off the bat. For example, lost revenue opportunities if you are missing upsell or accessory items, potentially reduced profit margins when you have to go back and save face because a component had to be added later and you have to discount that component. There's a potentiality for lost deals due to incomplete or inaccurate quotes, and that can cause customer frustration. Additionally, if you have to send quotes, you may have to spend additional time to review those quotes, revise them, and send them out to your customers. And ultimately, not having these items included on the first quote the first time leads to increased workload for teams that have to fix those errors after a submission. So as per this webinar, the question really becomes, well, how does QuoteWerks help to alleviate some of these pain points? And there's 3 features that we're going to be reviewing. The first one is bundles. Bundles are groups of products that can be added to a quote in a single click. They can be simple or grouped bundles, so they can either have no direct correlation with one another, or they can be grouped in a group of products. And as I mentioned, once you've created the bundles, it's really simple to go in, click the bundles button, choose your bundle, hit OK, assign a quantity for that bundle, and it's automatically added to your quote. Some of you may be using templates. Templates are pre-configured quotes, whereas bundles are pre-configured lists of items. So just wanted to make that differentiation there. So that's the first solution that we're going to be reviewing, our bundles. And you can see that I've also included a path here to the QuoteWerks web help file that goes about talking about bundles and how you can use them. The second solution that we're going to talk about are required items. So this is where you can tie any number of items to a particular product or service, and they're automatically added to the quote when you add that product or service to the quote. This is a great option when you have components or accessories that you want to make sure are being included with that product every time your sales reps are quoting it. All of this is very, very simple. And as I mentioned, we do also have an additional link here to the QuoteWerks web help file where you can find some information on required items. Optional items are solution number 3. And optional items are very similar to required items, except instead of being added directly to the quote when you add a product or service, you'll be presented with a list of items that can be added if you choose to do so. So required items are going to be automatically added, whereas optional items are given to you as an option to add to the quote if you need to. And they're actually very quick and easy to use. There's a quick list that pops up that says, here are the optional items that are associated with this particular product, and then you add it to the quote. So very simple to use, but very powerful in their use as well. Bruce asked if we were going to get access to the slide deck so we can have access to the quotes. I don't typically share out the slide deck, Bruce, but I can send you over a copy of it if you'd like. So I will make sure to get you a copy of the deck for you. So those are the three solutions, and now we're going to go into demonstrating those three solutions. So the live demo, we're going to show you how to create and use bundles, and then how to set up and use optional and required items as well. So I will be demoing this in QuoteWerks Web, but I want everyone here to know that QuoteWerks Web and QuoteWerks Desktop have the same functionality when it comes to the three options that we'll be discussing today. And if anyone on the call today has interest in seeing it in desktop, let me know. If we have time, I can potentially show some of this stuff on both platforms. So here we are in QuoteWerks Web. We have an unsaved quote here that we have open. First step whenever you're building a quote, and I'll make sure to do this here, is to add a contact. It's always good to have a contact for a number of different reasons, but this is typically best practice when you're first building a quote. So what I've done here is I've searched for the company name, I've selected my contact, and I'm going to hit all to add them to all of my sold to, shipped to, and billed to fields on the screen here. Just go ahead and zoom out a little bit so we can see a little bit better. So now that I have my contact in the document, the next step when you're building a document would be to populate it with products. And as we've been discussing, one of the ways that you can do that is by utilizing bundles. As you can see here on our standard toolbar, we have a number of different icons, and one of those is a bundles icon. So we're going to go ahead and click on the bundles icon. Here we're presented with a list of all of our existing bundles, and you can see I've got a number of different ones. I've got one for desktops. So this would be a standard build for a desktop where we've got the desktop itself, the monitor, the warranty, a couple other components there, desk mount, for example. Here we've got another one, which is a server and rack, where we've got the server, the rack, and all of the required components there. And then maybe a little bit simpler, we've got an HP printer bundle here, where we've got the printer, some cabling, and all of the necessary toner that might be needed. So just to show you the function of a bundle, if we come in here and select a bundle and hit insert or add, it's going to ask us what number of that bundle we want to add to the quote. In this case, we're just going to keep it at 1 and hit OK. And you can see that very quickly that particular list of products is first going out and requesting information from my vendors, and then it's going to pop in here in the quote itself. Now, as I mentioned, you can create two different types of bundles. One would be a grouped bundle, the other one would be a simple bundle. And this here is a representation of a grouped bundle, and you can tell it's a grouped bundle because it's got a summary line at the top, which has a description of what the bundle is, and it also has the subtotal for all of the bundle's components on that summary line. So instead of showing all of the individual product costs, in this case, these being grayed out means that the product costs are not going to be shown. It's just going to have that one summary line, and then everything else is going to show as not having a cost associated with it. So you're still able to collect the full amount of the bundle or the full cost of all of the products, but you're ultimately presenting it as a summary line instead of a line-by-line cost method. I'm going to go ahead and remove these from the document because I just wanted to show you how you would add one. And we're actually going to build our own bundle now. So we're going to come back to the bundles icon. And you can see up top, there's a number of different icons that you can use. We've got the new button. We've got the clone button if you want to clone an existing bundle. We've got the edit button if we want to edit an existing bundle. And then we have the ability to delete bundles as well. So again, as I mentioned, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new bundle. So we're going to do that by clicking on the new button. And we got to give our bundle a name. So I'm just going to call this grouped bundle because we're going to create a grouped bundle. But this would be representative of what the actual bundle contains, so that it'd be listed here under the name on the bundle screen. So when we get to the bundles window here, you'll see that we have the ability to choose a simple or grouped bundle. And one thing you'll notice right off the bat is the simple bundle is simple, right? We've got our internal notes, we've got the items that we can add to it, and that's just about it. When it comes to a grouped bundle, there's a lot more that we can do with it because we're, again, associating these products with one another in a grouped fashion. Bundle internal notes would be what is included in the list of bundles in that screen that I just showed you. So we're going to call this networking for data center. And then we have a bundle description down here, which is going to be what's actually going to show in the description field of that summary line. So we're going to call this, actually we'll just call it the same thing, networking for data center. So both our internal notes as well as the bundle description will be the same. And you can see with a grouped bundle, you can also assign a part number, a vendor part number, an item type, and you can also set a unit price override if you'd like as well. In addition, we can add items just like we did previously with our simple bundle, but there's other tabs here as well. So we can create group properties, we can apply a discount modifier, assign a tax code, and even convert this group to a recurring bundle if we would like. We also have a number of custom fields associated with the bundles. So we've got our custom text, custom number, custom date, and our custom memo fields. And then we can even assign a picture to this particular bundle if we wanted to. So I'll go ahead and pull out a picture of my 9200L Cisco switch, and that'll be the picture that we're using for this particular bundle. Now, one very important and required piece to this is we want to add items to our bundle. And again, we do that by going to this items tab. And if you wanted to create a new item, you can just click on the new button and you can come in here and actually put in a manufacturer part number, description, and also set the line attributes and line types. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull products from an existing product database, and that's done by clicking on this plus button here. So when I click the add button, it's going to open up my product databases. And as I mentioned, we're going to make this a networking bundle. So I'm going to add a switch, I'm going to add an access point, I'm going to add some cables, and I'm going to add an install as well. So we've got 5 different items here that we're adding to this list. Could be as many as you want. In this case, we're choosing 5. I'm going to hit select add. And unlike adding it to a quote where you'd see the add item assistant, when you're adding an item to a bundle, you see the new bundle item screen. And here you can set the quantity, the sort order, or where it shows up on the list of products in the bundle, the line type, and line attributes as well. So know that you can ultimately set all of these different fields for each of the items that you're adding to a bundle. And it's going to have me do this for, again, all 5 of those items. So I'm just going to continue to click OK. And one thing I just want to point out again is this sort order, because the sort order is how you can organize how these actual display on the quote when they get added. The lower the number, the higher up in the list they're going to show. So in this case, we're going to have our switch, which is a sort order of 10 first. We'll then have our AP at 20, our cables, and then our mentored install service as well. So we're going to go ahead and click OK, and this is going to go ahead and create this bundle for us. And you can see we now have our grouped bundle added to our list of existing bundles, and this is networking for data center. We're going to hit insert, and just like before, we're going to be prompted to put a number here. And just note that the quantity that we're putting in here is going to be applied to the entire bundle. So for example, if we had 2 switches on here and we said enter quantity bundle 2, then it would ultimately add 4 of those switches, right? Because we have a quantity 2 already assigned to the bundle, we're adding 2, it brings us to the number of 4. So just wanted to kind of point that out to you, that you do have the ability to control the quantity of bundles that you're adding. So I'm going to hit OK, and this bundle is going to be added to my quote. So just like before, we've got our summary line up here, which is networking for data center, and we've got our products below that. Great, so that's an example of a bundle. I do want to also just show you a simple bundle to show you how they two differentiate from one another. So we're going to go ahead back to bundles, and we'll just create a simple bundle here, adding a couple products. I'm just going to kind of go through the same process before, adding a name for my bundle, and then adding some items to the bundle as well. So I don't really necessarily care which items these are, so I'm just going to add in some labor, extended warranty, and a quarterly assessment. And we'll hit select add, and those are going to be added to our simple bundle. Now that we have our simple bundle configured, we hit OK, and it is on the list here, and we're going to insert quantity 1. Now, as you can see, there's a difference between the two because we have our group bundle highlighted and it has the summary line, whereas the simple bundle has just been essentially dropped in these products with no association with one another. So notice that our group bundle has our summary line. It also has a subtotal for the unit cost and unit price here. But with these three up here, again, they are brought in just as a list of products. So what does that mean? Well, if we were to deliver this or preview this quote, we'll show you what these look like on an actual quote output. So here we are in the print, share, publish, deliver window. I'm just going to go ahead and remove our existing selections and add in the quote radial template or layout, quote layout. And I'm going to preview / print that layout. So as you can see, we've got our three products, which were part of our simple bundle. Each of them has a quantity of 1, and each of them has the line item pricing. And then we have our networking for data center grouped bundle, which has the summary line, the subtotal, and then all of the products below that. And if you wanted, you could even hide the prices for the products that are part of the bundle as well, and just have that one summary line. So that's bundles. If anyone has any specific questions on bundles, feel free to go ahead and add them to the questions box there. I haven't seen any come in just yet, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. The next thing that we were going to review is required items, and required items are great when you have a specific product that you're selling and you want to make sure that other products are included with them. I'm just, for the sake of cleanliness, going to remove our bundles from the quote, and we'll go ahead and show you how to set up required items. So what we want to do here is we want to go into our products database, and we're going to choose a QuoteWerks native product database. All right, a question, oh, sorry about that. A question just came in from Aileen. Can you make the name of the bundle as a header versus a simple line item? Yes, I believe you can. Let's go ahead and just double check that. If we go back to bundles, and we'll edit this one. When you're adding bear with me for just 1 second. So you can add a header if you want. So what I did here, instead of going in and adding the plus button or clicking the add button, what I did is I clicked this new button, and what I'm doing is I'm essentially creating a new product, but you have the ability to set a heading as well. So if you wanted, you can come in here and make this product be whatever you want it to be. And it could be a heading as opposed to a summary line. So that's one way that you could do that. All right, so going back to our required items, here's our products icon. We're in a QuoteWerks native product database, which is demo items here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, pick on the C9200L switch that I have here, and I'm going to click on Edit. Now, when you edit a product, there's a lot of different options that you have. As you can see, we can set the manufacturer part number, tax code, manufacturer, vendor part number, internal part number. There's really a large number of things that we can do here, including adjusting the line attributes, pricing, and then other things here. But what we're focusing on are these last two options down at the bottom, required items and optional items. I'm going to go ahead and click on required items. And what I want to have included in here is going to make sure that when we're adding the switch to the quote, every time we add the switch to the quote, we're adding our network monitoring and we're adding our quarterly assessment, right? So we want to make sure that both of those two items are always included anytime we add this particular item to our quote. And to do that, we're going to click on the plus button here, and we're going to find those items. So I've got my my network monitoring and my quarterly network assessment. I've selected both of those and hit select add. And just like before, I have the ability to adjust the sort order, the quantity, as well as the line type and line attributes, which I'm going to leave all the same for right now. And it's going to ask me to do that for both of those products. And once we click OK, those required items are now added. And anytime we add this particular product to a quote, it's going to add those products as well. So if we select our Cisco Catalyst 9200 switch and click Add Selected Products to Document, you'll see that it brings up the Add Item Assistant, and we're going to go ahead and add that to our document. And you can see not only was our Cisco 9200L switch added to our document, but we also have network monitoring and our quarterly network assessment. So just an example of how required items can be set up and used. Now, in addition to required items, there's optional items as well. Very similar in how you set them up, but different in the way that they're applied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the products database, and I'm going to remove the required items from this particular one. So we're going to go back to required items, and we're just going to click the minus button to remove these. Now, we're going to click over to optional items, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add in some products. In this case, we might say that we want for our level 1 labor and our extended warranty to be optional. Or actually, in this case, let's say that we just wanted to present our extended warranty options as being optional, and for the sales rep to be able to add whenever they're adding this particular product to the document. So we're going to select our extended warranty options. We're going to click on Select/Add. And just like before, we have the ability to adjust all of these different fields. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and OK, and OK one more time here to add those to our optional items list. And you can see again, we've got the sort order. So if we wanted 3-year to come first, all we need to do is make sure that it's a number less than 10, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And that has now saved those optional items for this particular product. And now when we go and add that product to our document, it's not just going to add those automatically like it did with required items, but you can see that we have this optional items option that's been set here for us. So let's say that we did want to actually provide all 3 of these options to our customer. We can click on all 3, and we can actually adjust the optional line attribute by just selecting display as optional items on document. So we're going to add those. And if we go back, you'll see that we have our switch as well as our warranty options. And just for the sake of organization, I'm going to add a heading line that says hardware. And then I'm going to add one that says warranty options as well. All right. Real quick, we're just going to take a look at these here. You can see on the bottom left hand that it says product service optional, which means that they will be optionally selected when they're added to the quote. So we just showed you before how you would deliver a quote via PDF, or at least how you would access that quote via PDF. Now we're going to show you how to upload via Quote Valet. Just bear with me. The question from Bruce, inside of the product edit, why is my description field grayed out? I'm not entirely sure. Let me take a quick look back at where we're at, and we'll see. So I'm assuming, Bruce, you're saying that this here is grayed out for you. You're not able to adjust the description, and you're using the desktop client. Now, I'm not entirely sure why that's the case, Bruce. Oh, okay. So Bruce is referencing a product not found in a product database. It's likely that you are trying to pull it from a different database, but it's not being found. Bruce, I don't actually know the answer to your question, but I think the best bet would be to just give a call into support, and they can help you there. I wish I could do more for you on the call, but I'm not entirely sure. All right, so just going back to where we were at, we were going to just show you the delivery of this and what it looks like in Quote Valet. So I'm going to go ahead and hit deliver. As I mentioned before, we were just delivering our quote, or we were just previewing or printing our quote. If you wanted, you could also email that quote directly from QuoteWerks. And then we have this other option, Quote Valet, For those of you that might not be familiar with Quote Valet is QuoteWerks online quote delivery and acceptance vehicle. So instead of sending a PDF quote, what you'll be doing is sending a quote that is a web page, and I'll show you exactly what that is here in just a minute. So I'm going to upload this over to Quote Valet. I'm going to review my signing options. So if I wanted additional signers, I could have that. If we needed to countersign from our company, we could do that as well. And then reminder options. So reminding if it's not been viewed in a certain number of days, is about to expire, or has been accepted but not paid in a certain number of days. I'm going to go ahead and leave these blank, but if you wanted, you could set it up to be sent to the recipient or the sold to contact or the sales reps as well. And in this case, we're just going to go ahead and upload this to Quote Valet, and we're going to preview this. So this that we are seeing right now is an example of what the customer would see if you delivered a quote to them via Quote Valet. And you can see that we've got our hardware, and then we've got our 3 warranty options down here, and they were set as optional because of the fact that we clicked that box when we added our optional items to make them optional on the document. So as you can see, very quickly and easily we're able to add these into our quote utilizing optional items, and we were also able to display them as optional on the Quote Valet quote as well. So that's a good example of using bundles and also using optional and required items. I'm taking a quick look at questions here. I don't see any other questions that have come in. If you do have any last minute questions, feel free to pop them in, and we'll get to them while we're finishing up here. So before we do finish, I do want to just mention that we do have a number of different resources here. I actually already alluded to the fact that we've got the support available to you as well as our sales teams. I'd like to say our best resources that we have here are our people, always willing to go above and beyond to help out. So never hesitate to reach out to the support or sales group if there's something that they can help you with. And in addition to that, we've got a number of other resources as well. We can give you free trials. So let's say you don't have Quote Valet right now, but you want to check it out and it seems interesting to you, let us know. Send an email over to sales@quoteworks.com or give us a call, and we'd be happy to set you up with a free trial. If you're on QuoteWerks desktop and you want to check out QuoteWerks web, same thing. We've also got videos. We're doing live and recorded webinars on a regular basis. We have our help documentation. We also send out a monthly email, which is a tips and trick email that features different tips and tricks or features that we have within the QuoteWerks software. We also offer services as well. So if you have something that you're trying to accomplish within QuoteWerks that you're not able to do on your own, you can reach out to our support team and we'll let you know how many hours it might take and how much it might cost you. So with all of that being said, I really appreciate everyone's time. As you can see, the bundles, optional items, and required items are a great way to make sure that accessories and items are included on quotes. And if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to community@quoteworks.com, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. But thank you everyone for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.